So I thank God because I got the job, right? So I got the job, I came here, and I knew first thing first, when I get a chunk of some chunk of money, the first thing I'll do is just go and put up the cyber. Now, mistakes that I did is, yes, I knew my target, my clientele, I knew my target customers who I'm targeting. I knew the location very well where I'm going to put this cyber, and I knew the purpose that it is going to serve. But there are things that I did not put in place. There are things that I did not put in place. Now, towards the end, I'll tell you the lessons that I have learned, yeah, and how I've lost that money. Because I came, I was like, I visited different cyber cafes here in Dubai, and I was like, wow. So I need first to put something that has a wow factor, you know, something that when the customers come in, they're not just coming in, they're arriving, you know, they are arriving, yeah. So it needed to be different. It needed to be set apart from other cybers that I've seen. So I bought computers from here. I bought like 10 computers, and I sent them home. I think I don't even know if I bargained. You know, like when I took a loan, I was like, I'm taking a loan, I'm putting up this thing, and it's going to go big. It's going to go big. So I was like, yeah, so I need this amount of money. I need 10 computers. I set up everything in Nairobi. I got, with the help of some of my relatives that lived with us, like we lived together. By the way, I didn't even involve my parents. Big mistake. I didn't involve my parents. You know, I was like, oh, what do they know about internet? What do they know about this? So that's number one mistake, because I didn't involve them. And as young guys in the house, we felt like, we can run this thing by ourselves, okay? So what happened is I took the computers, I set up, and we set up, me and one of a common friend that we had, a family friend that we had, and that family friend was going to be the one managing the place, because he had you know, he had the details, you know, those small details that you need. He had them, and he knew where to do what, you know, where to get what paperwork. So he knew what to do. And because I didn't have much time to be in Nairobi, I needed to put things in place and then leave, sign papers and all that. So we set up the place. It needed to be different, I'm telling you, and it was different. We even had a tea coffee service. Like as a customer, when you come, you would request for tea, coffee, and it will be served for free. And we had a international calling station, like because all these guys coming in, the Somalis especially, they used to call a lot, international calls, too much. Like this was just booming business. So we had that. We had some games for the young ones, and it was good. It was good. And you know what? Even the tables, because I'm telling you, this thing was, you know, had to be different. Even the tables, the computers then, I'm talking about 2003, 2004, the computers were under the table. Like you have glass and you have your computer under the table, so that you have privacy. Nobody is just snooping on what you're doing in the internet. So you had your privacy, you know. And it was good. As it started, it went on well, but eventually I went into a loss. We had to close. It ran very well for a year plus, but then we had to close at some point. That's a story for another day. But I learned a big lesson that, number one, when you have a vision, like I had a vision, I knew what the cyber was going to do for the people of Isili, Section 3. I had that vision in me, you know, like it was so clear in my mind. But when you have a vision, you cannot transfer that vision to someone else. It is so difficult for you to transfer that same vision to somebody else, and for that person to run your business as per the way you want it to be. So you're the vision bearer. Transferring that vision to someone else to run it the way you want, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's almost impossible. So that's lesson number one that I learned. If I need to run a business that needs my attention full time, that I have to be there to run it. And lesson number two is I learned that I needed to do I needed to do due diligence to, the paperwork. I did not even bother getting into the details with some of the paperwork, because I was like, okay, you guys, I have set up the thing, carry on now managing it. And it managed very well, yes. But then eventually I came to realize there was a lot of problems with the paperwork in the ministry. When there was a problem with the cyber, the way it was being run, when I started going back with the paperwork and everything, I realized that there was a big problem. Yeah, even the paperwork had been changed. The ownership had been changed. It didn't show. It showed I owned 1%, and it was not a partnership, but it showed that I owned 1%. So that's something else. Due diligence is very important with the person that you're leaving your business to run that business. Number 3 is I didn't have a business plan. I was running it the ghetto style. It's flowing. Customers are coming in, they're paying, money is coming in. The money that is coming in at the end of the month it's paying the overhead. So I never bothered I never had a business plan. Like, yes, I knew I need this business to be there. I knew who it's going to serve, but I didn't have a business plan. So business plan is very important, because then if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Okay, so that's another thing. And it's like I was just in a journey to a place that I didn't know, and I didn't have a map. That's exactly what it means if you don't have a business plan. You're just walking, wandering around. You don't have any map, and you don't know where you're going. So business plan is something that is very important. So I burned my fingers. I learned my lesson. We closed down, and it was hard to move on. Like, right now I'm telling the story, I'm smiling, but it took me years to really heal from the entire thing. To heal from all that, it took me a lot of energy, a lot of emotions and all that, because then remember, you're in debt. This business is supposed to be giving you money to pay the loan where you got the money from. And so that I burned my fingers then. Now, like, as if I did not learn my lesson, I still went on and did a salon business that I also burned my fingers, because again, salon service sometimes I will say anything business that is service based needs you to be there. It needs you to be there, either as the owner or as a partner. One of you has got to be there. If you or your partner in business, or one of you is not there, then it's most likely higher chances are that business will not flourish. It's going to fail. And that's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. I've learned lessons along the way that service-based businesses, most of them, you've got to be there. Yeah. So that happened. Okay, I learned my lesson. I moved on. Now, it came a time where in this part of the world, and just like any other place, there was a Forex company. Wow. The Forex company, and my friends who are watching, I know you know what I'm talking about, because I know majority of people here that I work with got into that Forex. It's like word of mouth. Oh, I'm in this business and it's giving me money, it's lucrative, and everybody is like, wow, okay, so how much are you earning per month? And honestly, if you looked at these guys who are in this Forex business, they were making money, and you could tell, because you're like, hey, this lifestyle this guy is living, it's not, it's not from the salary that we're getting. There must be something else. And yeah, I thought about it, first when I heard about it at work, I was like, whoa, hang on. I'm from Kenya, and I've heard of these stories, and I'm not getting in this thing. I'm wiser than that. I'm not getting into these things, because I know a few years down the line, it will be a different story. So I brushed it off, okay, that time. And you know how much it was? Like, you had to invest $20,000 Do the maths. $20,000. And it had hundreds and hundreds of people that had joined. So it was good business. So the first time I heard about it, I was like, me. There's no way I'm getting into that scam. That's a scam. Right. Few years down the line, me and a brother of mine, I'm not going to mention him, he knows himself. We sat down, we were like, hey, this business looks like it's really lucrative. You know, why don't we test the waters? You know, that curiosity. Because honestly, it's been like 5 years, or rather now going to 6, and people are earning money, and we're just there sitting, just brushing it off. It's a scam, it's a scam. Man, people are making money, you know, and people had several accounts. So one account is $20,000. So the people who had entered like 5-6 years ago had registered with $20,000, and now that's for one account. And now some of them had like 5-6 accounts, which means the money that they were getting from the forex, they were investing it back, and it was giving them all these multiple accounts. So for you to have 5 accounts and one is $20,000, you can imagine how much money these people are making. So clearly it was making money in the beginning. So me and my brother are like, yeah. Now this issue of just relying on salary, and people here are living big, they're living large, and it's been 6 years since we heard about this company. Why don't we try? We're like, okay, but if you're going to try, let's test the waters with one account, and then if it works, then we double, so that each has an account. So me and my brother, we shared, everybody $10,000, and we dived in, you know. Yeah, telling you, if something sounds too good to be true, then it is. It is. And there's something about timing as well, because I'm telling you guys, we didn't even last 5 months in that forex. Things went crazy and people lost money. I saw people going mad. Like, some of my colleagues were talking to themselves at work. Like, somebody is just seated down alone talking to himself because of the amount of money people had lost. Some people had taken all the savings from their for their children's education, because it's bringing money. At the end of the month, you're getting something anyway, so it's gonna grow. So they took money from their savings account, from the children's account and all that, and they put the money there, and then boom, this thing went down. It went down, and these guys were nowhere to be found. Yeah, we thank God for the government here, because eventually the people who were in charge were found. But where is the money though? Where is the money? So we all lost. And again, my fingers were burned. Yeah, and I was like, we have to learn these lessons. Like, something sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Yeah, our timing, me and my brother, was really bad. The time we got in is the time that this thing was actually going down, and we lost money. And also, when it comes to business, there's principles. There's some principles of growth, and once the principles of growth have been violated, be sure to burn your fingers. Be sure you're going to go down. Yeah, because you need the seed. All right. When you go to the garden, if you're planting something, you'll put the seed, then you will need time, right? And after time, you will harvest. So, but when you violate any of those, and you just want the get rich quick, businesses, then that's how we get into problems. And I'm seeing a lot of these Ponzi schemes in Kenya right now. There's left, right, and center. I would say, if you're living outside the country, if you live outside the country, you want to invest, you're not sure if you should invest in either product-based business or service-based business, you're better off putting your money in some passive business, passive business, like in the money market funds, or in treasury bills. This kind of, passive businesses is what I would advise. This is what I have learned in my dramas with businesses, different businesses that I have done. I have had dead stock. I've had dead stock from, you know, when I started doing the silicone kitchen products. There's some silicone products that came and they were really nice because especially for baking and stuff like that. And then you realize you're doing a small based one, but somebody is doing large scale, bringing the whole entire container from China or from wherever. And for me, because I'm far, I have to rely on orders, and it became very difficult, and I was stuck with some stock, dead stock at that point. So few lessons to learn. I just wanted to bring this across. We will continue going through the businesses. I'll bring what kind of businesses probably you can engage in, especially if you're living outside the country and you don't want to burn your fingers like I did. So number one, let's not violate the principles of growth, you know, the seed, time and harvest. And then number two, if you're going to do a business, you need a business plan. Yeah, you need a business plan. And number three, remember that you cannot transfer your vision to somebody else. Your vision is not transferable to someone else unless you're partners and you actually know what you want. It's not possible to transfer that vision to someone else. Number four, we need to do due diligence. First, we do market research on the business that you want to do, and also due diligence to the person who is going to be running that business for you. And yeah, I hope you've learned something. I'll keep on sharing. Please keep on subscribing and sharing so that we can share the information to other people. I hope you enjoyed the session with me today. Tea Time with Jay. Share, subscribe, and God bless.